Hello, my name is Connor Adams. Today we're going to be going through a flexibility workout. Things are going to be geared towards the population of 66 and up. Um, we're going to be working through a lot of motions today that are going to really just help with the activities of daily living. So you really need to have good flexibility and a solid range of motion in all your joints in order to be able to do things like pick up groceries, garden. Even if you're just driving and you want to turn and look both ways, reach and grab something from the back seat, all of that. Flexibility is extremely important to all of those things, and today we're going to work the necessary muscles and ranges of motion to improve flexibility. So all of those things are going to be a little bit easier, more enjoyable, live happier and more productive lives. So our first objective today is going to be a psychomotor, so it's going to be everyone will be able to actually participate and carry out the motions to the best of their ability throughout the workout. Our second objective today is going to be cognitive, so that'll be everyone will understand the necessity for a flexibility workout and how it can actually help with the activities of daily living. And then our affective objective is going to be students being able to kind of safely participate in each activity, know their limits in their motions, and also respect each other's personal space and maintain a good distance from each other. So ideally, our warm-up would start with an entrance activity. In order to get everybody pumped up and everything, I would actually start this activity with some dancing to some music, and I would go through some motions that people kind of do in daily living, but I would make it like a dance. So you would do like the shopping cart where people are pushing the cart and then reaching up, grabbing something, or even like reaching down, grabbing something, dancing, like just bouncing around, just bend down, pick up the groceries, bend down, pick up the groceries, grab something and put it on the top shelf, reach back, can even do some sprinklers in there, whatever it takes to simulate some activities that you would do day to day and just make it fun and bounce around to the music. And then we would get into the actual warm-up. Ideally, we would be in a gym, so I would instruct everybody to take one lap around the gym, walking or jogging, whatever they can handle. Push themselves a little bit hard, but get the blood moving. On the first stretch of the gym, I would instruct them to kind of try to get some high knees up, just to get the backs of their legs stretched out and loosened up. The next stretch, I would instruct them to do some butt kicks. The third stretch, I would have them do a shuffle. So they would go sideways like this, bend their legs as much as possible. Just keep your balance though. What's more important is just that you do this and you keep moving so you can get that heart rate moving. And halfway through, they would turn around and they would start shuffling the other way. And then the fourth and final stretch, they would just keep walking or jogging and bring it in with rotating their arms forward halfway. And then when they get to the halfway point of that wall, they switch to go backwards. And then finally, to end the warm-up, they would return back to their seats, and the seats ideally would be spaced about 3 yards apart. I think there'd be 8 people in the class, so you need 9 total seats because I need one myself. And we would do some postural and breathing work to get ready for the actual exercises that we're going to do. So I would say, take a seat, bend your legs, poke your butt out, take the seat, push your butt into the back of the chair, have a slight curve in your back so that you can run your hands between your lower back and the seat, and press your upper back against the back of the seat, just like that. That's the good posture we're going to use today. For our breathing work, we're going to be working with controlled breath so that we can maximize what we get out of each of these flexibility exercises. So what I would do is I would start everybody just relax, regular posture. Keep your hands together right over your diaphragm, which is, right at the base of your sternum. That's where you want your fingertips to meet. And then when you take a deep breath in, which I'm going to count to 3, you want to make it so that you expand the diaphragm and separate your fingers, just like that. So it would be take a deep breath in, 1, 2, 3, and then release, 1, 2, 3, and your fingers should come back together. And we'll do that a couple times just to get everybody ready, get everybody breathing, supply oxygen to the muscles, and get them ready for the flexibility work. So I guess that brings us right to the start of the activity. So I'm not gonna go through each demonstration for the amount of time that it should, just because it'll be here for a little while, but ideally I would say that each activity and each stretch and each exercise you should do it about 3 different times, and it should be held for about 8 seconds each, and you should be exhaling through each of the motions. So that means between the exercises, you'd be taking your inhale. We're going to be going from top down, and I will demonstrate each of the motions, and I'll run through like the first time of each one. So we're going to start out with the neck, of course, 'cause we're going from top down. So we're going to start out with some head tilts. So what we're going to do is everybody's going to look straight and then tilt their head to the right. To whatever limit that you feel that you're feeling a stretch out on this side, but you're not feeling any pain anywhere. Just like this. Hold it for 8 seconds and then exhale through. All right, and then you're just gonna go to the other side. Just like that. And with this one, I would offer the option to provide resistance to it, so you can have your hand against the side of your head and push against it with your neck a little bit, just to add a little bit more work with your neck right here. And like I said, you would do each side 3 different times and hold it for 8 seconds each. Next, you would do head twists. So you can twist to the right, again, within your pain limit, whatever you can handle, and then twist to the left. With this one, you can add an opportunity for a progression as well, so you can add that resistance here, push against it, and then add the resistance here, and push against it. Good. And then finally for the neck, we're going to do flexion and extension. So we're going to go forward and look down. Again, you can add the resistance and extension, and add the resistance if you need. The idea, you want to keep challenging yourself, but definitely no matter what, especially with this age group, you want to prioritize safety. So never work outside of your limits. You're always supposed to stretch and work flexibility within your limits, but you want to push a little bit or else you're not going to grow. Next, we're going to go to the shoulders. So we're going to work circles forward. So everybody bring their arms out to the sides just like this, just like a T. And then rotate big circles forward. And we'll just do this for 8 seconds. Big circles. Remember to breathe. Okay, and now go backwards for 8 seconds. Big circles. Good. Now we're going to go across the body. So you're going to have one hand here, bring it to the opposite shoulder. Bring the hand that's not up over to this elbow, and then push on that elbow and push your hand past your shoulder. For 8 seconds, remember to breathe through this stretch. And exhale through the end. Good. Now you want to switch. You stand on this shoulder, stand on this elbow, and you push. It's really important that you keep a good posture. I'm even slacking myself right now. You got to keep a good posture through all of this and keep breathing. Good. Next and finally for the shoulders, we're going to do a jumping jack motion. So we're going to start just in our regular posture, hands at our sides, and just bring it up. Just like that, just like we're doing a jumping jack from our seat, and bring it down. We'll do this 8 times. Work through the range of motion. If you can only get your hands up to your shoulders, that's fine. Just go to wherever you can manage. Does not matter as long as you're getting a workout for yourself. Just like that. Good. And like I said, you would do that 3 different sets. So now we're going to move on to the elbow. So we're going to go down the arm first, and then we're going to make it down the torso and then the legs. So you're going to have both arms out in front of you, have your palms facing in, and just curl up. Try to touch those thumbs to the shoulders, and then extend. You don't need to lock your elbows, but definitely give them a good stretch. Reach out in front of you. Bring it back, Touch your thumbs to your shoulders if you can, and then stretch. You just do this 8 times for 3 different sets. Breathe through each stretch. Good. Now for your wrists, we're going to do a prayer stretch. So we're going to do one up and then one down. So first we're going to start with up. So bring your palms together. Try to make your forearms about parallel with the ground. Sorry, I got an itchy nose. Now you're going to want to apply pressure between your palms. So just push them together. You're going to feel a stretch on the inside of your wrist and a little bit of pressure at the top. Don't push past any pain. Just feel the pressure. Just feel the stretch. Good. Now switch. Now you should be feeling the pressure on the inside and the stretch at the top. Good. And then finally for our arms, we're going to reach out in front of us again. We're going to do a hand stretch. A little bit of hand work. I don't know if I would call it a stretch, but well, yeah. So we're going to stretch out like a star with both hands and then curl them together like you're squeezing a ball. Stretch it out like a star and then squeeze in like a ball. You do this 8 times for 3 different sets. Remember to keep breathing. It's important that you supply these muscles with oxygen right now. Oxygen is what's going to help you recover, and then you grow. You get better range of motion, happier, more productive lives. Good. All right, now we're going to move back to the chest. So, start like this. Hands directly out in front of you, palms together, and then bring it out. With this motion, you want to try to squeeze your scapulas back a little bit, as much as you can. Try to make your hands touch behind your body. Obviously, that's not possible, but that's the goal. Okay, now you bring it back in after 8 seconds. And then each subsequent set here, you want to have your hands just a little bit higher. For 8 seconds, try to squeeze their shoulders back and touch them hands behind you. Now bring it back in. And then one last time. Remember to breathe out. Exhale through the stretch. And then bring it back in. Good. Now we're going to do 3 trunk exercises. So we're going to do side bends first. So what I want you to do is take one hand, put it on your opposite hip, and the other hand, put it towards the sky. Now, you're going to lean away from the hand that's up, but you're going to bring the hand with you. So lean to the right. And what you're going to do with this hand that's on your hip is keep that hip down. You don't want it to lift up and cheat. This is going to stretch right along here. As long as you keep that hip down and you reach with this hand across your body, over top of your head. Hold that for 8 seconds and exhale. Good. Now you can switch. Other hand on your hip and then opposite hand to the sky. Give it the same stretch. Use this hand to keep yourself honest. Reach across your head with this hand. Good. Repeat that for 3 different sets. Now you're going to do side twists. So here, everyone should put their hands out in front of them. All right, I'm sorry. Start like this. Start with your left hand out to your side and bring your right hand over as much as you can. You're not going to be able to reach that whole hand. It's not going to happen, because what I want you to do is keep your hips square as possible. So just reach here. And then bring this hand that won't reach across and open up into a T. Do that 8 times. Wrist to T. Good. Now you want to do it to the other side. So this hand stretched out. This one reaches over towards it. You're not going to reach it. See, this one I can't even reach as far. So wrist to T. Wrist to T. And what this is going to do is loosen up your thoracic spine. So your middle back. Earlier we worked the cervical. Now we're on the thoracic. This is what's really going to help you grab something from the back seat. Good. 3 sets of that. And then finally, we're going to work a little bit of the lumbar spine. So keep that posture good. And what we're gonna do is go chest to knee. So you can keep both legs bent still, planted on the ground, and then you can have both hands to one leg. Try to keep that same posture that you have into the seat, but move that chest forward into your knee. Keep that same bend in your back, don't round that back, and just work your chest to that knee. Hold that for 8 seconds, as far as you can go. No need to push past your limit. Exhale through, maybe get another extra inch out of it, and then come up. Okay, now we're gonna go to the opposite knee. So both hands on this knee, lean forward. Keep that same posture in your back, but bring that chest to that knee. And then exhale and try to get that extra inch out of it. Just gonna loosen up that lumbar spine a little bit, work to help your hips out a little bit. Okay, and then that brings us to the hips. So we're gonna start with a glute stretch. So what we're gonna do this time is kind of the same motion, but we're gonna move our legs instead of our chest. So keep that spine good in our seats. We're gonna wanna lift one leg up, grab the knee, and just bring your knee to your chest as much as possible. I have pretty tight hips, so I can't really do this really well, but just whatever you can manage. Just feel that stretch in your in your glutes a little bit. Good. After 8 seconds, you release, and then switch legs. Bring it up to your chest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Now, finally, we're going to do a rotator stretch. Can't really see my legs right now, but I'm trying to move back a little bit. So you're going to have one leg still planted on the ground, just like this, but your other leg, you want to straighten it out and reach it out in front of you, and just bring it in a rotation. Try to draw a big circle with that leg. Count to 8, going to the outside, and then count to 8 going on the inside. Remember to breathe through this. Good. Now, switch legs. Same thing. Bend this leg, keep it planted, lift the other one up. Big circles to the outside for 8. If you want, you can point your toe, pull it back, stretch a bunch of different muscles out in your legs that way. Test it out, just whatever feels good. And then come inside for 8. Oh. Good. Now we're gonna do a couple leg stretches. So we're gonna start out with a hamstring stretch. You wanna keep this leg bent, just for convenience sake. Keep this leg straight out. Try to put your heel on the ground. This one you can scooch a little bit forward in your seat, just so your glutes are on the seat and your legs are hanging off of it. So now what you can do is, again, put both hands on that knee, and then keep your posture good and bring that chest to that knee. Now you should feel this more in your hamstring. Remember to breathe through this, hold it for 8 and exhale through. Get that extra inch out of it. If you want, you can reach towards your toe, but just try to get that chest towards your knee. That's the bigger goal. Okay, now switch sides. So plant this leg, stretch this one out. Bring your chest to your knee. Don't round that back. It's less important that you touch your toes, more important that you bring that chest closer to that knee. That's what's really gonna stretch that hamstring. Okay, good. Now finally we're gonna do some ankle circles. So you can keep that keep this leg straight, keep this leg planted, and just move that foot around, just like this. And just draw some circles with that foot, as big a circles as you can, but just move your ankle. Try to keep that leg still. Try not to move that knee or that hip. For 8 in, and then 8 out. All right, now switch legs. Plant this one, extend this. You wanna hold this leg still, and then 8 in. And then 8 out. Good. Now, for these last two muscle groups, we're gonna stand up actually out of our seats. So, you stand up, come to the side of your chair, and first thing we're gonna do is a quad stretch. So, some of us are gonna be able to completely bring this leg up and grab that ankle and pull. Some of us can't. Now, if you can't, what I want you to do is turn your seat sideways. Plant, you can grab the side of the chair. You can bend your legs a little bit. Put one leg, the top of one foot, on the seat. Remember to keep grabbing here, keep your balance, okay? That's what's most important. You don't want to fall over. You want to have the top of your foot resting on the seat, and then bend the leg that's on the ground. And as you bend down, you're going to feel the stretch in the front of the other leg. For those of you that are standing, you're going to want to hang on to here, grab that ankle like I said, pull that ankle towards your butt, and keep your knees close together. Hold it for 8 and exhale through. Okay, now you want to switch legs. Just like that. Remember to keep holding on to the chair for balance. Knees together. Hold it for 8, exhale through. For those of you that are on the seat, again, you're going to have the top of your foot on the seat. Have your other leg planted. Grab onto the to the seat as well as you can. Bend one leg and let it stretch the front of the one that's bent on the foot on the chair. Good. Now you're going to want to do a calf stretch. So again, be standing next to your seat, just like this. You can't really see this. Might be able to see this a little bit better if I move it. Okay, so for this one, you're gonna have one foot in front, one foot back, keep both heels planted on the ground. And what I want you to do is keep that back leg straight and bend the front leg forward. You're gonna bend that front knee forward into the chair. And keep hold of yourself here. You wanna keep your balance. But it's really important that you keep that back heel down on the ground. That's gonna stretch your calf out really good. All right, now relax, bring it back up after 8 seconds. Switch sides, and then do the same with the other way. Bend that front knee forward, keep that back leg straight and the heel planted. For 8 seconds, exhale through, try to get an extra inch out of it. And as always, you can do 3 sets each side for that. And then finally, we're just gonna do a hip flexor stretch. So you're actually gonna keep this same type of position here, in this split stance position. But this time, you wanna keep both legs bend that front leg, but you can bring that heel up on the back leg. Now, keep this front leg straight. You don't want to keep pushing it forward. You want to keep this knee where it is. With this one, you want to move your hips forward. And in that, you're going to try to bring your chest up and your shoulders back, just like that. Remember to keep holding on to the chair. If you want, you can give it a slight push behind your hips, just like that, and you feel it right here, the good stretch right here, your hip flexors. We spend so much time sitting down. It's good and it's really important to stretch these out. Okay, now you want to switch legs. One leg forward, one leg back. You can lift that back heel up if you want. Try to keep this knee planted, and then move those hips forward. Just like that. Chest up, shoulders back, hips forward. Hold it for 8 seconds. Exhale through for an extra inch. Good. Now again, three times each side. And that's going to conclude our main exercise portion. From there, we would move into a cool down where I would instruct everybody to take 1 lap around the gym, just walk or jog, whatever you can manage. No special movements or anything. This is just to get moving after those stretches, get those muscles working again. Probably feel pretty tight from being stretched. It's weird how that works, but That lap should open everything back up, and then we'll come back into the seats. We'll check our posture again, so we'll push our tailbones into the back of the chair, have that space in our lower back, and then keep the top of our backs and our shoulders pressed against the back of the seat. And then we'll work with our breath again. So I can't really see it, but have your fingertips right at your diaphragm, right under your sternum, like I said. And you're gonna inhale and separate them. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale and bring them back together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna work through that just a little bit, bring our heart rates down. We'll do that for about 30 seconds so we can control our breathing, supply our muscles with oxygen, and recover from a pretty good workout. That's pretty much it. That's the main activity we'd be doing with this lesson. Now for closure, to wrap it all up, I would ask questions like, which movement do you think would translate most to improving your everyday life? The answer to this question would probably be different for everybody. For older people that might love to garden, they might really like the low back stretch, because that's going to kind of teach them how to bend over in a way that's not going to damage their back, and they can hinge at the hips a little bit more. For those that might have actually injured their hip, they might have really liked the hip stretch, because these muscles could be really tight in here. For others that might have rotator cuff injuries, they might have been a little bit really challenging, so they might not have liked those types of exercises, which would lead me to my next follow-up question of which move and stretch was the most challenging. A lot of time the answer to this question would be pretty indicative of your life experiences, of the things that you typically do, whether some people that have trouble with shoulder stretches might not really move their shoulders throughout the day. Otherwise, others might have a history of injury, like I've touched on. Yeah, so it would be interesting to hear that, and it would really just promote a lot of critical thinking in the people about what flexibility means to them and how it relates to their lives. And then, just to wrap it all up, I would ask, what would be the purpose of trying to exhale and breathe and control your breath through these motions? And hopefully by now, I think everybody would know, being able to exhale through the end of the motion is going to buy you that extra inch and push you just a little bit farther in each stretch, and that's what's really going to help you grow, because you can't grow without pushing a little bit out of your comfort zone. But I'm glad everybody worked within their safety zones, worked within their limits, and gave it a good workout. Thank you.